Let's get that one there. Okay. So now that tumejuana, so tumejuana briefly. So we just continue. So for those people who are watching us for the second episode or the second session today, as I had mentioned in the first session, is that today we had a group that joined us quite early. So we had the first group, the first group, and this is the second group. And this is the number of questions that we have. I think we have 4 questions for this second session. So we are going to respond to them. So I have not changed my name. I'm Eliud Gogi, and I'm the one who will be handling these sessions. So karibuni sana, even the audience wenye tuko nao leo. So I'll start with the first question so that we can proceed. Now, this is the question. They say communication is the key to a healthy, and actually this is one of the online questions, the question that was asked through the phone, and we were requested to respond. They say that communication is the key to a healthy and long-lasting relationship. We had it, but we broke up. I'm confused. I think I would also be confused in the same situation because with good communication and the relationship still broke, then that's quite confusing. Why did it happen? What are the other core ingredients? Sorry. Sorry. Kama kiti imeharibika, you can use that other one. So, what are the other core ingredients of sustaining a romantic relationship? So, they say communication is the key to a healthy and long-lasting relationship. We had it, but we broke up. I'm confused. Why it happened? What are the other core ingredients of sustaining a romantic relationship? So, there's a question of communication that relates to communication in relationships, and communication is one of the key ingredients of a relationship or sustaining a relationship. But it is very important that people should note that we are saying it is one of the key ingredients to sustain a relationship. So when we are talking about communication when it comes to romantic relationships, we are talking about open communication. We are talking about that communication whereby someone is not just talking for the sake of talking. You're not, and even the person who is listening, you're not listening for the sake of listening, because most people listen either so that they are waiting for you to conclude talking so that they can respond. That is number one. There's someone who is just listening because they just have to listen anyway. They have no otherwise, So it's either they listen, or if they don't listen, again, it's going to be a worse, a worse scenario. So they are just listening for the sake of listening because they want to show you that they are there to listen, but they don't hear anything. So when we are talking about communication in relationships, and people say, as kama venye swali amesema ni kwamba, they say that communication is the key. Yes, it is the key. But what is more important when it comes to communication in a relationship is not really communicating, but understanding what is being communicated. Because we can have a quarrel in a relationship, but by the end of it all, you do not even understand what I'm talking about. You do not even understand where I'm coming from before I get to this point whereby we are having this discussion, this conversation. So being able to understand what the communication is about is what is of greater importance than the communication itself, because we have both verbal and non-verbal communication in a relationship. So non-verbal communication is still going to communicate the message if the other person is able to understand. So even without verbal communication, someone can be able to understand what is happening in the relationship. So the core or the most important thing in communication is that aspect of understanding what is being communicated, understanding what this person is really talking about, where this person is coming from. Because in a relationship, where you are coming from is equally important, because where people are coming from, you always carry traces of what was happening in the previous engagement, in the previous engagement, in the previous relationship, in the previous marriage. So if you are coming from a toxic relationship, if you are coming from a toxic marriage, definitely you are going to carry some traces of what was happening in that relationship. And if you are not careful, you can easily bring those issues that were happening in that relationship into the present relationship. So understanding is of greater importance than even communicating. But now, maybe the reason why the person who asked this question, maybe the reason why your relationship still, ended even with active communication, and there was healthy communication. It's because maybe you guys were just communicating for the sake of maintaining a healthy communication in the relationship. Because there are people who say, they say communication is the key, so we need to keep communicating even if we are saying nothing. We need to keep communicating even if we are communicating things that are not really affecting us. Because there could be an issue in the relationship or an issue in the marriage, and then when you are communicating, you are not really addressing the real cause of the problem. So nyinyi tu mko tu hapa mnachezea hapa kwa service, but deep within there are the core issues that are really affecting the relationship, but you are not addressing them. Yes, you are communicating, but what you are communicating is not the real thing that is affecting the marriage. Or even if you are actively and health-wise communicating, maybe the other person is not there to understand. The other person is there to just listen, so that now they can defend themselves, so that now they can show how right they are and how the other partner wrong is. So communication, there's more to communication than just listening or talking. And then the other part of this question is this, that what are the other core ingredients of sustaining a romantic relationship? Communication is not the major pillar of a relationship. Understanding, as I've said, is the major pillar of a relationship. But what really sustains a relationship? What sustains a relationship is the skills that those people in a relationship have to maintain the relationship. When we are talking about communication skills, when we are talking about conflict resolution skills, when we are talking about financial management skills, because people don't fight because they don't love each other. Most of the times, people fight because they have issues with finances, because they have issues with trust, there's infidelity, those are the issues, even conflict, the conflict between them is not being handled in a peaceful way. There's no anger management skills, So if people were able to invest in learning certain skills, such as the ones I have mentioned, then those are the key ingredients of sustaining a relationship. Love, and this is one of the major misconceptions that most people actually have, that we love each other, we are there, we feel each other, we have the chemistry, so we tuko na ile ma feelings, tunafiriana kabisa. But love cannot sustain a marriage. Even those people who are right now wako kwa roho ya sahi, well, today is on a Sunday, but those people wenye wamepanga kwenda kwa roho ya kesho asubuhi so that they can sign the divorce papers, those people hapo hapa kwa meza kuna wengine huwa wanasema, but I still love you, but tuna divorce, but I'm not divorcing you because I hate you. We still love each other, but we just can't tolerate each other. So the love is there. I still feel you, you still feel me, I still feel attracted to you, and you still feel attracted to me, but somehow in one way or another, I can't tolerate it. Now we have to. Lack of those skills is what people talk about when they say I cannot tolerate you anymore, because this person has no skills to sustain the relationship. So love is okay, but love is okay to start the relationship, to start that connection, to create that connection. But somewhere along the way, and this is a cycle in a relationship, love always goes on and off. The feelings. Because most of the times, and not most of the times actually, all the times, feelings and emotions are generated from our thoughts. If right now, I asked everybody here to think about something happy, something exciting that has ever happened in your life, something that was magical, something that was amazing. So you close your eyes and you start thinking about that, you're most likely going to smile. And if you keep thinking about that, you're most likely going to laugh out loud. Why? That emotion has been triggered by your thoughts. So when you look at someone and at that particular moment you do not like what they are doing, most likely you are not going to feel that love feeling. You feel like you hate that person. And the day that person does something that you love, something that you like, you feel that attraction is back. So the feeling that people call love usually fluctuates on and off, sometimes on and off, on and off. So you cannot depend on this feeling, which is on and off, to sustain the relationship. Then that means that something deeper, something stronger need to be established for this relationship to materialize into either, if it is a dating episode, then it can, translate into marriage. If it is marriage, then it can translate into a happily ever after marriage. Because happily ever after marriages are there. Only that what people think that happily ever after marriages are is actually not what they are. Because people think that when we talk about happily ever after marriages, it is smiles all the way. But that's not the case. There are people who are happily married, but they can stay even a week without talking to each other. There are people who are happily married, but they collide almost every day. But if amidst these collisions, amidst these colliding and conflicts and all that, they still find each other in the process. They still find a reason to hold on to each other. They still find a reason to still keep, watering the love, watering the relationship, and cultivating the marriage. So even that desire to still be present and cultivate the relationship and help each other and support each other is also very important, because most of the relationships these days, those who are in the relationship, we can say couples, the couples in the relationship, they are actually not working as a team, they are competitors. Most of the relationships are like that. So I want to see who nani atakuwa analeta pesa mingi. I want to see whose idea will be winning all the time. We want to see now nani atakuwa anachapa watoto ama anaongelesha watoto anamsikia kuliko yule mwingine. It's a competition who is better than who is doing this better than the other. But people often forget that we came in this institution as a team, and no matter what, we are supposed to work together as a team. You see, so what is happening right now, we are supposed to join hands and ask ourselves, now, this is what is happening. And this is what is happening. So we have this situation, so we need to come together, fight from the same angle, fight from the same side, so that we can win together. But most of the times, couples in a relationship, you start fighting each other instead of fighting the problem. So mnaachana sana shida, sasa mnaanza kupigana nyinyi wenyewe instead of working together as a team. So what I would say to conclude on this question is this: that communication is important, but understanding in the communication, comprehending the communication is what is more important than the communication itself. Because even non-verbal cues usually communicate something, but you're not talking. But for as long as that person can understand, that is more important. Number two, having skills is what now sustains a marriage, sustains a relationship. You have anger management skills, you have communication skills, you have listening skills, you have conflict resolution skills. You have such skills that are going to help you to maneuver financial management skills, discipline when it comes to finances. So that is going to help in the relationship. Number three, I would say supporting each other, complementing each other, being there for each other, fighting from the same side, coming together as a team, and then you are able to face the issues that are facing the marriage from the same side. So there are people who are going to incorporate prayers and spirituality into this. So if you are the kind of a person who is into spirituality, religion, praying, then that works for you, then you can do that. The reason why I always say that is because when we do these sessions, we do these sessions for those people who believe in God, others don't believe in God, but we are all in the same room, and we now have to accept that we have to accommodate each other. So that's why I'm saying, for those who believe God hear prayers and changes marriages, then go on and pray, and things are going to change. So that's what I can say for the first question. So we'll now go to the second question, because I think today we have about 4 questions, not much today. So that means in the next 30 minutes we should be done with the questions. So let's now go to the second question now.